Friends, what if I tell you that not all diseases require medicines? Some require a proper diet too. So, what do we mean by proper diet? When our diet is having all the important elements like vitamins, minerals, etc. Now, what are vitamins? Vitamins are basically organic warriors, and these organic warriors keep our body going, whatever the situation may be. So friends, today we are going to discuss about the importance of vitamins, their sources and what deficiencies it could lead if they are not supplied in adequate amount through food. So friends, what are vitamins? Vitamins are basically essential micronutrients required for efficient metabolism of our body. Friends, these are micronutrients. Whenever I am saying micronutrient, it means the nutrients are required in very less amount. These are known as micronutrients, and metabolism is nothing but sum of all the biological reactions taking place in our body. So friends, the vitamin was first termed by Casimir Funk in the year 1912, and in the year 1929, Christian Ehrlichman, Frederick Goland Hopkins won the Nobel Prize for the discovery of vitamins, for the discovery of all of the vitamins. Now, based on the solubility, vitamins can be classified into two categories. Now, friends, what is solubility? When it completely dissolves in any solution, this is known as solubility. So, based on the solubility, vitamins are of two types. One is fat soluble, which means these vitamins are soluble in a fat solution. These are vitamin A, vitamin D, vitamin E, and vitamin K. On the other hand, we have water soluble vitamins. These are vitamin C and vitamin B complex. So basically, without any further delay, we are going to discuss about all of the vitamins. So moving towards the next slide, we have vitamin A. Friends, vitamin A is having the chemical name as retinol. Retinol is the chemical name of vitamin A. And what are the functions of vitamin A? It is needed for vision, healthy skin and mucous membranes. Mucous membranes are basically a protective membrane in our internal organs. And bone and tooth growth, immune system. Immune system is nothing but the defense mechanism of our body. Now, what are the sources of vitamin E? Carrot, green leafy vegetables can be termed as a source of vitamin A. And if adequate amount of vitamin is not given to us by food, it could lead to certain conditions known as night blindness. See friends, this is a normal vision and this is the vision of a person suffering from night blindness. See, in night blindness, the person will not be able to see properly at night. So friends, your vision is impaired in night blindness, and if we are having adequate amount of vitamin A in our diet, we could get rid of night blindness. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin D. Friends, vitamin D is also known as calciferol. Calciferol is the chemical name of vitamin D. What are the functions of vitamin D? Needed for proper absorption of calcium stored in bones. Vitamin D is very important because it is required for the absorption of calcium that are stored in our bone. And what could be the sources of vitamin D? Sunlight, milk, etc. can be the sources of vitamin D. Now, what are the deficiency disease? Rickets, osteomalacia, osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a condition where our bone becomes porous and it can easily break. See, this is the condition of rickets. It is very common in children and the bone becomes very softened. So, this is a condition known as rickets. It is very common in children. So friends, moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin E, and the chemical name of vitamin E is tocopherol. Tocopherol. Friends, in examination, it is often asked the chemical name of vitamins. So that is why these are very important. So what are the functions of vitamin E? Vitamin E acts as an antioxidant and protects cell damage from free radical. Free radical are various harmful compounds. Okay, whenever and these are produced as a result of metabolic reactions. As a result of metabolic reactions, various free radicals are formed, and this antioxidants protects the cell from these particular free radicals. Now, what could be the sources of vitamin E? Oil, sunflower seeds, butter, etc. are a rich source of vitamin E. And if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin E in our diet, it could lead to infertility and reproductive issues, both in male as well as in female. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin K. Vitamin K, and its chemical name is phylloquinone. Phylloquinone is the chemical name of vitamin K, and basically it helps in the blood clotting. Blood clotting is the basically the stopping of bleeding. This phenomenon is known as blood clotting. So what could be the sources of vitamin K? Tomato, green leafy vegetables are considered as rich source of vitamin K, and if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin K in our diet, our blood clotting will be hindered and we may suffer blood loss. Okay friends, so we must include vitamin K in our diet. So moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B1. Now, vitamin B is having various categories like vitamin B1, B12, etc. So that is why vitamin B is known as vitamin B complex. The group of vitamin B are known as vitamin B complex. So first we are having vitamin B1, and it is known as thiamine. Thiamine is the scientific or chemical name of vitamin B. Now, what are the functions? It's part of an enzyme needed for energy metabolism. Enzymes are nothing but the biological catalyst. Important for nerve functions? Yes, it is important for nerve functions, basically the nervous system. Plays a role in muscle contraction. Our muscles contract, is not it? Contracts, relax, and that is why we are able to move ourselves or move our body muscles. So, this vitamin B1 plays an important role in muscle contraction and conduction of nerve signals, be it from brain to the body parts or the body parts to the brains. What are the sources of vitamin B1 is that pulses, groundnuts, etc. are considered as a rich source of vitamin B1. And if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B1 in our diet, it could lead to a condition known as beriberi. See, this is the example, pictographic example of beriberi. Beriberi is characterized by confusion, inability to speak, weakness, and your muscles and ribs becomes visible. So this is known as emaculation. So these are the characteristics of beriberi. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B2, and it is also known as riboflavin. Friends, the scientific or the chemical names are very important, so you must follow these scientific names. So moving towards the functions, what are the functions of vitamin B2? It is needed for growth and overall good health. Overall good health is characterized by the presence of vitamin B2 in our diet. It helps in the body to break down carbohydrates, proteins and fats to produce energy, which means it helps in digestion and allows oxygen to be used by the body. It also helps in respiration. What could be the sources of vitamin B2? Meat, liver, milk. See friends, milk is also a source of vitamin B2. So that is why milk is considered as a complete food. And if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B2 in our diet, it could lead to deficiency disease such as erybophlavinosis. Erybophlavinosis. Now, it is characterized by cracking of lips, inflammation and cracks on the corners of the mouth, and tongue redness and inflammation. So, it's a painful condition if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B2 in our diet. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B3, and the scientific or the chemical name of vitamin B3 is nothing but niacin or nicotinamide. So what are the functions of vitamin B3? Vitamin B3 is a part of enzyme that is needed for energy metabolism, important for three vital systems of our body, that is nervous system, the digestive system, and the skin health of our body. What are the sources of vitamin B3? Sugarcane, milk, etc. are considered as a rich source of vitamin B3. Now, if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B3 in our diet, it could lead to certain conditions known as pellagra, and it is characterized by issues in various systems of our body. It includes dermatitis, diarrhea, and dementia. What is dermatitis? Dermatitis is a condition in which our skin becomes scaly. Diarrhea is characterized by watery stools, and dementia is a condition where you are having issues with your memory, thinking, your cognitive ability is compromised, and that time you are not able to perform your daily task. Your daily task performance capacity is compromised. So moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B4. Vitamin B4. What is the function of vitamin B4? That is that it is necessary for making blood cells, and it helps to convert the food you eat into energy, which means nothing but digestion and absorption. So the scientific or the chemical name of vitamin B4 is pantothenic acid. Pantothenic acid. What are the sources of vitamin B4? Tomato, potato are considered as rich source of vitamin B4. Now, if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B4 in our diet, it could lead to fatigue, insomnia. Insomnia is nothing but a condition in which you feel sleeplessness at night. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B6. Vitamin B6. So friends, vitamin B6 is also known as pyridoxine or pyridoxine. And what are the functions? Part of an enzyme needed for protein metabolism, helps to make red blood cells, and neurotransmitters are nothing but the messengers of the nervous system. What are the sources of vitamin B6? Cereals, fish, livers, etc. are considered as the sources of vitamin B6, and if you are not having vitamin B6 in adequate amount, it could lead to certain conditions known as epilepsy, pink eye, or confusion. Now, what is epilepsy? Epilepsy is nothing but an increased electrical activity in your brain. So, this is known as epilepsy. Moving towards the next slide, friends, we are having vitamin B7. Vitamin B7 also known as biotin. Vitamin B7 also known as biotin. Now, what it does, it helps to convert certain nutrients into energy, plays an important role in the health of your hair, skin, and nails. Now, what are the rich sources of vitamin B7? Milk, egg, meat, etc. are termed as a rich source of vitamin B7. Now, if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin B7, it could lead to hair fall, lethargy, etc. See, this is the condition. If you are not having vitamin B7 in your diet. Vitamin B9, also known as folic acid, now it is also having similar functions like part of an enzyme needed for making DNA that contains the genetic information and new cells, especially red blood cells. Now, what are the sources of vitamin B9? Pulses and vegetables. Pulses and vegetables are a rich source of vitamin B9. Now, what are the deficiency diseases? It could lead to macrocytic anemia, mouth sore, swollen tongue, gray hair, etc. Now, what is macrocytic anemia? The RBC becomes enlarged and it becomes unsuitable for carrying hemoglobin, and ultimately it would lead to anemia. Moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin B12. Vitamin B12 is nothing but cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin. Now, what is the function of vitamin B12? It's a part of an enzyme needed for making new cells and DNA. Important for nerve functions. Important for nerve function, which means it plays an important role in the function of the central nervous system. Now, what are the sources of vitamin B12? Meat, fish, liver, etc. are termed as a rich source of vitamin B12. Again, deficiency disease is macrocytic anemia, paralysis, memory loss, pernicious anemia, etc. So, basically, the deficiency of vitamin B12 is compromising the nervous system. Okay. So, friends, moving towards the next slide, we are having vitamin C. Vitamin C. So friends, vitamin C is also known as ascorbic acid. Ascorbic acid, and it acts as an antioxidant, basically neutralizes the free radicals formed. Part of an enzyme needed for protein metabolism, important for immune system, the basic defense mechanism of our body, and aids in iron absorption, which means it helps in the absorption of iron by our body. Now, what are the sources? Lemon, oranges, and citrus fruits. Now, if we are not having adequate amount of vitamin C in our diet, it could lead to scurvy. Basically, scurvy is nothing but bleeding gums. Gums health becomes compromised. So, friends, this was all about the various vitamins and their deficiency diseases. If you want to learn more, stay connected with Edufy. Thank you.